Hey everybody, hope you're doing well, hope you're staying safe. It's Saturday the 6th of March 2021. Some news to get through today, the headlines, usual stuff, COVID first, stats on daily cases, active cases, deaths and 7-day averages for both the US and Florida. We're going to be looking at how the vaccine rollout's doing in the US and in Florida. We're going to be looking at when all US adults might be vaccinated, the impact of the Texas governors rolling back the COVID mandates, see what effects that's going to have on Texas and other states. We're going to be looking at the IATA travel pass again, briefly, and also British Airways bringing in self-administered COVID tests. A bit of news on Disney World, Blizzard Beach reopening, and the reopening of Disneyland in California, among other parks, and how that's going to work. And then we're going to look at the Disney Parks availability calendar for the rest of March and early October. We're going to have a look at Universal Orlando news. Two bits of news this week is the announcement of Halloween Horror Nights 30 and the furore surrounding Seuss Landing. So we're going to be looking at those. And then finally we'll have a look at the weather for the coming 10 days. If you're new to the channel, please do hit that like button, subscribe, and you'll get this stuff every week, every Saturday or Sunday, and you'll get some theme park stuff, restaurant review or hotel review during the week as well. Okay, let's get on with it. Looking then at the stats, US daily cases, 67,281 yesterday. The US 7-day average, 62,158. Last week was 71,050, so that's a 13% drop, big drop there. US active cases, 8.9 million, 9.1 million last week, so that's a 2% drop. US daily deaths, 1,794. US deaths 7-day average 1,805. It was 2,033 last week, so that's an 11% drop. Florida daily cases 5,975. The 7-day average 5,426. Last week it was 5,971, so that's a 9% drop on the week. Florida active cases 726,000 this week. Last week 764,000, a 5% drop. Florida daily deaths as of yesterday 133. 7-day average on daily deaths 128 today. Last week was 134. That's a 4% drop. So drops all across the board. Fantastic news. We just need to keep this going now. Vaccinations must be having some impact. I'm not sure whether it's vaccinations or whether it's people just being a bit diligent. My guess is vaccination. So let's have a look at them now. Total doses distributed as of yesterday, 114.1 million, 94.3 million last week, so that's 20 million. 2.8 million a day for the last 7 days distributed. Total doses administered up to yesterday, 85 million. As of last week it was 70.5 million, that's 14.5 million doses administered, or 2.1 million per day. That's the most in a week ever, so great news there. The Johnson & Johnson vaccine has started to be rolled out to states now. I don't know how many of those single shots contributed to the doses administered this week. So how many of the US population have been vaccinated to date? 16.7% have at least one dose and 8.6% with 2 doses. Florida ranked 35th out of 50 states with 16.2% of people with at least one dose and 27th out of 50 in percentages of people having 2 doses at 9%. So all those metrics moving in the right direction. Vaccinations moving really steadily well up. President Biden has said that the National Guard is now getting involved. He's asking for retired doctors and nurses and other volunteers to get involved as well, so that we can have additional people giving the vaccinations, and as well as more vaccination stations. I was in Texas yesterday, which isn't doing very well in terms of what percentage of people have been vaccinated. They are now, at least in Houston, doing drive-in vaccinations, so you don't even have to get out your car. You've got a QR code, you go along, you drive along, and you give your QR code, they scan it, they give you the vaccine, they give you something to say you've had it, and then you get a return date for your second dose. I don't think the Johnson & Johnson vaccine is rolling out there yet, but if they're doing drive-through vaccinations now, that means they can get to a heck of a lot of people per day. President Biden has said that there's going to be enough vaccine available to administer to every adult in the US by the end of May. Previously that was the end of July. So Johnson & Johnson, the single-shot vaccine, is helping there. He hasn't said when every adult is going to be vaccinated. But if there's going to be a little bit of a lag between vaccines being available and vaccines being given, then I would expect that to be no later than July. I don't know why it would be any later than July, given that we're getting 2 million people a day now. On Tuesday, Texas Governor Greg Abbott rolled back his executive order on COVID-19 restrictions. He's now opened that state up 100%, so all restaurants reopened, hairdressers, everything open to 100%. It's too early to say what the impact of that is going to be on people in Texas. They rank 46 for the percentage of people given the vaccine to date, 1 dose, and 40th for 2 doses. So Greg Abbott has said, we're in a good place now, the vaccine's come in, everything's getting better, but his state is lagging very, very badly. But I'm hoping that has very little impact on what's going to happen in Texas. Mississippi and Alabama also rolled back some of their COVID-19 restrictions. However, all is not lost, because just because governors roll back their mandates doesn't mean that businesses have to comply. Businesses are private entities and they can put their restrictions on, and that's what several large chains are doing. They're still saying that people have to wear a mask to come into their stores. So to me, that's good news. They can restrict service to whoever they want to restrict service to. I've been talking about the IATA travel pass now for a couple of weeks. This is getting really big traction now in the media as a whole. Too many news stories now to cover. There are various news stories now around the world about IATA travel pass and how that might come in. Good news is that British Airways now is to offer a self-administered COVID test to all its travellers. It's going to be £33 per test, self-administered, and you're going to do that via kind of a Zoom link or something in front of somebody who can vouch that you've had the test and it's clear. So that means you don't have to queue. You send off for the test, it comes, you do it, and then you're fit to travel, I guess, within a 72-hour period. On Disney News, Blizzard Beach reopens tomorrow, Sunday the 7th of March. It is going to be fairly chilly, 66 degrees tomorrow. I'm not sure how many people are going to go. It's going to be cold in that water. Blizzard Beach reopens tomorrow, Sunday the 7th of March. It's only going to be 66 degrees, so I'm not sure how many people are going to go there. Certain members of the media, not me, were invited along yesterday for a preview of the COVID conditions that are going to apply to Blizzard Beach. Some photographs were taken yesterday by a lady called Brooke Geiger McDonald, and they're on Twitter. Certain of those measures includes being in a tube on the lazy river and keeping your distance from other people in the lazy river. I'd be amazed to see, or very interested to see how that's going to work out in practice. Masks are not required on rides or on your lounger, but they are required everywhere else. Over to California, Disneyland and other parks can reopen maybe on April the 1st, given certain things going right for them. They're running a 4-tier system in California in reverse to the UK. So tier 4 is the best, tier 1 is the first. Everywhere is in tier 1 at the moment, but they're expected to go into tier 2, some of them at least, in the next couple of weeks, which will allow parks to open at 15% capacity. I'm not sure they will reopen at 15% capacity. That they will still lose money at that rate, but it will get people back to work, and I guess if they are gearing up to reopen, then maybe they will reopen at 15% capacity, and it will allow them to see how things are going. That goes up to 35% capacity in tier 4, and attendance is limited to California residents, so no flying about or driving from other states to get to those theme parks. Looking at the Walt Disney World availability calendar for theme parks, theme park ticket holders, that's single day guests, 3 5-day ticket holders. Not one day in March has full availability. The week of the 14th to the 19th it's particularly bad, and that is because it's spring break here in Florida. Resort guests, it's a similar story, and availability for annual pass holders is much better. They have quite a few days available. The 14th through the 17th only sees Epcot available for them. October the 1st is, as you might know if you're watching this channel regularly, the first day of the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary, and for all ticket holders October the 1st is out, that's completely full, and for annual pass holders the 2nd is also full. I would imagine that for theme park ticket guests and resort ticket holders it's going to start filling up 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, etc. So if you are coming, I would get the Magic Kingdom booked up as soon as possible. News in Universal Orlando, Halloween Horror Nights 30, which was Halloween Horror Nights 30 from last year, is going to be Halloween Horror Nights 30 this year. That's been announced. Only one house has been announced so far. That is Beetlejuice. This all opens up on September the 3rd and will go through to October the 31st on select nights. I've included the calendar here so you can see exactly when those nights are. We don't know what the capacity restrictions are going to be on Halloween Horror Nights. If you are thinking about coming, I would get your tickets as soon as they become available. That date, the tickets availability hasn't been announced yet, but if that's going to be a restriction on capacity, let's say it's going to be 35%, then that's going to be a sellout, I would imagine, every night. So I'm going to get my tickets as soon as they become available. Into Islands of Adventure then, and some adverse news potentially on Seuss Landing. Dr. Seuss Enterprises has issued a statement saying that they're pulling 6 books from the shelves because they portray people in ways which are hurtful and wrong. So Seuss Landing is based on the books by Dr. Seuss. He wrote many more books than 6, only 6 are being pulled. Seuss Landing contains one area which is themed on If I Ran the Zoo. It's a play area for kids. There is no racist imagery or anything to do with anything that might be hurtful to anybody, so I'm not sure why they would do anything with that. There's also a couple of other areas that touch on a couple of those books that were pulled. Universal Orlando have stated that they're evaluating the area, whatever that means, but have confirmed that they won't be shutting down Seuss Landing, so good news there. There's been a lot of news made about this, a lot of clickbaity stuff going on, but really nothing to write about at the moment in terms of Universal doing anything with Seuss Landing at all. There is nothing, there's no imagery that causes offence to anybody there, so I don't understand why Universal would do anything about that. I'm sure that this will die down over the next couple of weeks and it'll become, yesterday's news fish and chip paper today, and I just don't think anything will happen with Seuss Landing. Volcano Bay will be closed today and tomorrow. You can see I'm wearing a fleece. It is, well, not chilly to a lot of people. It's 68 degrees today, expecting some rain. We've had some this morning, 66 tomorrow as I said earlier, so it will be closed tomorrow as well. That doesn't affect the reopening of Blizzard Beach. It will be open tomorrow for those hardy enough to take part or want to do some vlogging. I won't be there, I definitely won't be there. To round things out then, let's have a look at the weather. It is going to be cooler this week. It's going to be back up to 80 though by the weekend, and it's going to stay there then for the rest of that 10 days. If you do like the vlog, please do hit that like button, also hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell, and you'll get this new stuff once a week, and you'll get other stuff which is park related or restaurant or hotel related during the week as well. Okay, stay safe. I'll see you next week, guys. Bye bye.